Loreheads, and welcome to the League, exploring the League of Legends lore from A to Z. My name is Rebecca.
And I'm John.
My name is Mark.
Today, we're talking about Skarner. Again, the Primordial Sovereign, who was just reworked April 3rd, 2024. Look at us on top of this.
Right? We're so fast.
I know. I tried to look up when it was initially announced that he was getting a rework, but I could not figure out when it was.
Forever.
I'd love to know the date about when it was like hinted that he was getting a rework too.
I know.
Man, this bad boy's, it's been in the chamber.
A long time. I did find a Reddit post from a year ago that was like, well, we know that this isn't coming out until 2023. And we're like, oh no. It's like, oh. Not quite. Didn't quite make it in 2023.
That's like going back and like looking at any like Wikipedia or not Wikipedia, any like Kickstarter for like an indie game in like, 2016.
Yeah, sure.
Just checking those updates. Like, we should have everything ready by end of the month. And
you're like, oh, that was
6
years ago. Yeah.
Well, shit. At least they actually did it.
Yeah, it happened.
In terms of like, it actually got done. Yeah, I don't know.
Good for them.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
sure, right.
I guess we have to do his quote. I just listened to a bunch of Skarner even, and I forgot that we still have to do an impression that he sounds different now. I did enjoy just looking at all his quotes, though, and looking at things he's saying about other champions. And basically, he just knows everyone's fucking business. Which we'll get to why. He's underground listening to everyone. His crystals are full of secrets.
He's got like his own shitty bat cave.
He does. He's got a shitty bat cave. Nowhere near as much money, but just as much anxiety and depression, which I really love for him. But yeah, he just fucking knows everyone's shit and what they're doing.
What's he sound like?
It's all gravelly and weird, and there's modifications on it, and I can't do this.
No, you got it.
But this is what he says to the dragon, and I felt like it was really rude. You are nothing but a glorified serpent. Something like that.
He hacks up a lung.
I know.
Or whatever he's got in there. Who knows?
Whatever's in all those rocks.
It's probably just more rocks if you think about it. Skarner,
He
he's
hacks
probably
up
just
a
rocks.
tungsten.
Oh, okay. I get it. An iron lung. Okay.
God damn it.
That was better. Yeah. It's all right. Yours was pretty good, I think.
It's all good. They're all great.
I didn't have a joke.
I was going to say, what's your organ-related pun? Okay.
You took the only rocks I know.
That's it. Those are the only two. Fuck. His voice is hard to do. It's, I will live an eternity. You, an instant.
Nice.
Nice.
How do you guys get that graveliness? I feel like mine's all dry and yours is nice and wet.
We'd like to wet our whistle.
Yeah, I felt like I needed to be sick a little bit, and maybe I could have done the impression.
The secret's taking a swig of our drink right before you say,
Go ahead.
welcome to the League of Loreheads.
Oh, yeah, is that what I say?
Don't tell her.
Welcome to the League of Loreheads. John, we are on episode 169 or something like that. Please do the opening right now.
Hey, folks.
Okay, now do your Skarner impression.
That's good. That's good.
Skarner.
That was beautiful.
Which is pre-rework and post-rework if you count his mecha skin.
Oh.
Which I
see.
do.
Okay. I guess we'll count it. It's fine.
All right, well, new bio. It's very long.
By Elise Lemoyne.
Thank you, honey. Skarner was a normal Bracken in Ishtal, not Shurima. He's not from Shurima anymore.
You did call him a Bracken again.
Brackern. Fuck. I kept reading it as a two.
Do it again.
I can't.
Do it
I
again,
even
sorry.
From the top.
I wrote Bracken
Hello,
and then
Loreheads.
I'll see. You know. You
See,
fucking
he
know the
knows.
opening. Goddamn liar. Anyway, as I was typing it, I was like, wait, it's Brackern. And I had to correct myself so many times. Skarner was a normal Brackern in Ishtal. He's in Ishtal now. That really caught me off guard. I don't know why.
It's worth mentioning, too. You can for sure be forgiven for getting it wrong, because I feel like there are two different names that Skarner also gives to baby Brackern, one in his story and one in his quotes.
Oh.
So they couldn't get it straight either.
Well, in the bio,
What do they
it's
call it?
Bracklings. What are they
Yeah.
called in his quotes?
He calls them something really silly in his
Bracker
quotes.
rings, I
the-
think it was.
Yeah,
or something like
Bracker.
that.
Oh, Brackarinas. Mark didn't laugh at that. I feel really bad. Anyway,
He's in the zone.
he's really in the zone. Yeah. He's still looking it up.
Yeah, I got
Skarner.
curious.
He was born a millennia ago. He was part of the Upalhim.
I did look up the
Oh,
pronunciation.
thank
of
God!
This, too.
What is it?
He does say it, yeah.
He does say
Oh,
it, which
okay.
is the,
I was
the
trying to
correct
look-
pronunciation, but it is Opaline, and his
Opaline.
and his brood mother is Nishale.
Nishale. I'm gonna need help with that again. Anyway, he was part of the Opalim Opalim clan.
Be sure to drink your Opaline.
Right?
I collected all of those
Crummy
stamps.
Skarner.
Anyway, he was born to the legendary broodmother Nishale. Nishale. I guess young Brackern or Bracklings ride on their mother's back until they're old enough to like get down, I guess. They just like
Yeah,
pop
scorpions
off.
do that.
Oh,
Like actual scorpions do that.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. That's sick. Thank you.
It's gross.
It is gross. Their backs look weird.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Fuck. I thought that was an interesting, neat nature fact, and you guys were like, "It's
Can be
icky."
both.
Move on.
It is icky.
Most fun nature facts are icky when you think about it.
That's true. Skarner, however, stayed on her back. He was a little anxious, but also really curious about Nishale and her power. Eventually, this paid off for him. He learned to control the earth and read the vibrations, like to detect movements, which is something that she was able to do. Is like the broodmother someone they were going to turn into anyway? Like, is this what Bracklings grow up to be? Do we know any of this?
I assume so. Like, I assume she's just like an adult one, and they're little
Okay.
baby ones, right?
So it seems like Skarner learned something that he probably would have learned anyway, just earlier than his brethren.
He was a little quicker, you know?
He was just a little faster.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, one day Skarner heard a lot of movement above them as some Ishtali people moved in. His clan didn't trust them, but Skarner was really interested. And this is the last we hear about his clan or his broodmother, by the way. He popped out there. He was like, I'm going to go see what those people are up to. And then we hear like nothing else about this clan.
Or any Brackern at all.
Or
All of
any
them.
Brackern at all. Yeah. I really... We'll talk about that. Okay. Anyway. Anyway. So Skarner watched the people for a while, noticing that their lives were short, but they used their time to create things, and he found that very interesting. One day, though, a rock slide threatened the people. I don't like that you're, like, reading my notes as I'm reading them. Stop it. Those are my secrets.
You read mine. They're right on the screen. They're real big.
Okay. I'm not reading them, though, usually.
Yeah, cover your eye, yeah.
Okay, anyway, a rock slide was going to destroy the Ishtali, and Skarner saved them. He said, I liked the quote, it said that he wanting to preserve the subjects of his observation. He was just like, oh no, my mice.
Right? Big singed vibes.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but not like quite as evil.
Right.
The Ishtali were obviously fascinated by him. The bio says he towers over the people, so he's quite a large critter, even, I guess, being younger. But anyway, they were also very grateful, of course, to Skarner, and he decided he wanted to protect them. And over time, the humans became, like, his new clan. He really, like, you know, he's home now. This early relationship involved Skarner creating the archaeology of Ishtal, and in exchange, they shared their culture with him. He also created the Yuntal, basically. The bio puts it, I wrote down the quote, Ishtal's scientific mindset with the collectivist culture of the Brackern.
Yeah. He was Ishtal's Heimerdinger.
Okay.
Just a
Sure.
really
Yeah.
long-living creature who founded their government.
He did find their gut. Yeah, that's weird. He's like, I'm going to build you
Yeah,
some
it's-
eco-friendly houses and also establish a
Make
council.
me mayor.
Vote for Skarner. A
big sash.
Brackern
Oh,
above
man.
the rest.
Vote for Skarner or feel my sting.
Ooh.
Okay. Where was I? Meanwhile, though, Shurima was like spreading all of its bullshit around. The Ascended stormed in and really tainted Skarner's perception of people a little bit. He was like, oh no, they're not all cool. Which really, man, Ishtal must have been a fucking sick place to live. But,
Yeah, I guess.
yeah. Skarner didn't trust Shurima at all, though. But when they approached Ishtal to form an alliance, the Yuntal agreed anyway. That didn't go over well for them, which Skarner seemed like a little smug about, but that's okay. A lot of people died for Ishtal to gain their independence back. Then the Rune Wars happened, and Skarner was absolutely done with Runeterra. He was like, fuck this place. He didn't even see the Ruination. Could you imagine? Somehow he missed that, because I think the Rune Wars were after. But he luckily didn't see all that crap. But he's super done with Runeterra. He told the Yuntal to stay in the jungle, use magic to hide their people, and they all did agree. He's still upset with the Yuntal, though, so Skarner, returned underground, built himself this big, giant chamber, his bat cave, below Ishokan. Ishokan is how you say that, right?
Ishao Khan.
Ishokan.
Yeah.
This allowed him to sense the vibrations of the going-ons, basically all over the place, which allows him to keep track of Ishtal and, know that they're safe. So he kind of just staying down there, listening to everyone, slowly becoming a bit of a recluse. His anxiety came back, real bad. On the surface, Skarner became, on the top, in Ishtal, Skarner became, more of a myth as, his, the people who worked with him died. But the Yuntal do still know of his existence, and sometimes they'll go underground to, touch base, have a little chit-chat. Bring him some anxiety meds, maybe.
Right.
I think
Skarner,
some
do you want any
Lexapro.
Totino's pizza rolls? You still playing your video games, honey? Okay.
Oh, good. Are you winning, son?
Right.
The new Yuntal right now are talking about opening Ishtal and checking out what's going on in Runeterra. And I gotta say, don't do that. Just don't. You don't want to know what's going
Sucks
on out
out
there.
there.
Trust me. It's much nicer in here. Skarner can hear all that, though, and he is freaking out. He's like, I do not want them to open up Ishtal. And he's basically decided if they do, he's going to stop them, kind of thing. He's like, I will do anything to protect them, even kill them all myself. And that's Skarner now.
Yeah. That it is.
Yeah.
It is.
He's a scorpion of many contradictions. I feel like.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a very astute, very erudite way of phrasing it. 'Cause, I kind of agree. At least I think.
Yeah, there's a lot that, and yeah, I'll get into this more in his quotes too. But yeah, just even the last line, the only one Skarner can trust is himself, and he'll do anything it takes to protect Ishtal and its people, even if that means becoming the root of their destruction himself. And how can you do both them?
Yeah,
What?
I was really thrown off by the very end of this bio, because, if anything, maybe him having to, kill the Yuntal, right? That would have been sufficient, in my opinion, because they're the ones who want to open it, but also they're the people that he's been closest to. So I think that would break him in a way that is really devastating. They don't have to mention that he wouldn't kill all of them and destroy Ishtal. It would just be, this one, tribe or clan is what I was getting.
Yeah, you assume so. I don't know if it's supposed to be kind of I don't know. I don't know if it's supposed to be kind of maybe similar to how Kiana and her family are sort of all about these sort of petty power squabbles. Is that supposed to be kind of playing along the same line of, Skarner maybe is so preoccupied with the idea of Ishtal that he's willing to kind of, trample over the whole, the actual people to protect the idea or whatever. I don't know. Like you said, it doesn't really. It's a weird direct contradiction between those two lines. The ending, those last two sentences in particular, are very awkward.
It almost seemed like they wrote the voice lines and the bio independently, and then they met up and they were like, "Oh shit, this sounds like a very different Skarner. The voice line Skarner is jaded and angry and violent." All right, throw in another line there
That's
to just tie them together.
That's such a bummer. I don't think I realized
I can
that,
see
because there's a lot I like about Skarner. I like that he didn't leave the brood mother because he was like, it's scary. I don't know. I don't want to do it. Like, I thought that was kind of cute. And I felt for him when he went back underground too, where he felt really betrayed by this whole like group of people that didn't trust him, and he had to watch so many people die because of it. And him like kind of hiding away and becoming nervous and anxious again. I thought that was so interesting. I was like, I wouldn't think a big monster champion is like hiding out because they're scared and sad, you know? So to hear that all about his voice lines, and that's part of the reason why the end also just threw me off so much. I was like, where's the scared Whittle? Where's my Will Crystal Scorpion?
Right?
He's so sad.
It sounds much. You'd expect much more like, you know, if they open up and he has to watch the Ishtal that he loved disappear, then he would, you know, he would have to leave and never help again or some shit like that. Just like not watch them destroy themselves.
Or he's trying to like find the courage to come back out, right? I feel like he's a homebody right now, and we've all. If you've ever been there, you know, the longer you kind of stay inside yourself, the harder it is to come back out. And I like the idea of him kind of like getting the courage to, you know, integrate, you know, go back with people again. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be open to that. I mean, it's hard because I was kind of frustrated with him doing like he felt like one of many champions who is what they're doing right now is they're just kind of hanging out and waiting.
Yeah,
they're just waiting for something, which is like kind of frustrating. You know, it's like it's a new bio. He could do anything. He could be doing anything, but he's just waiting. I like what the angle that you're taking on it a lot. I guess I don't know. Maybe if we had a story. That's the other thing too, right? It's like so we just have a bio. We don't have a story. We don't get into Skarner's head. We don't have anyone interact with him. So it's very hard to like. You know, it's just this. It can be kind of hard to kind of buy, like, how much of this are we kind of filling in for the writer almost, I guess?
Right.
So it's hard.
I think I struggle with this, too, because they do mention one of the earlier quotes, like, his visage is painted in reliefs and immortalized in the annals of Ishtali's history, a myth still honored and revered. And we have a lot of other examples of that throughout Runeterra, you know, with Morgana and Kael and Demacia, you know, Kindred kind of all around. And that's really reinforced in the world building of random stories. You see people, you know, do things like, oh, thank the protectors when they're talking about Kael or Morgana, or like, you know, bring us the wolf, or like, you know, the lamb will give us respite or some shit like that. Like they reference that, you know, in a lot of stories, and it really helps build the like, okay, well, this is actually like, these are stories that are told. And Skarner's in kind of a tough situation because he's coming out after all the other Ishtali champions that we've already met, and not one of them has had shit to say about the creator, forger, myth, scorpion legend. So like, I mean, it's not their fault. It's just like a victim of when he came out. But I mean, those tiny details really go a long way towards building a cohesive world.
It's true.
That's certainly true. I mean, you know, it's also hard because he's in Ishtal, which also just doesn't get a lot of play or stories in the first place. There's not a lot written about it, so it's doubly hard for Skarner. I mean, you could look at like Ornn, right, as an example where they just wrote a piece that is just, hey, here's some stories to kind of flesh out the way people mythologize around him, and you could have done that with Skarner. Frankly, I will say if they're going to do a story, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do. We were told they would do things other than stories, but so far I don't know, it's starting to kind of stack up a little. But what I would really think would be smart would be to kind of pick up with Aya, the POV character from the Axiomata story that we did with Kiana, and stick with Aya, push Aya's story more, and have it be Aya's like first meeting, because you can go and meet with Skarner, first meeting with Skarner, because like Aya's in the same position we as the audience are, right? They've never seen Skarner. We don't really know Skarner and haven't seen him ourselves, so it's a great way to like introduce Skarner and like fill out a lot of the details that are kind of just vague in the bio too. Like, what do they meet about? What is it like? How do those conversations go? Is the relationship like tense? Like, is it like, okay, everybody, make sure you got all your Totino's pizza rolls because Skarner is really angry when we go down there, you know? Or I don't know.
Right. And who was
something
that
to help
person
fill that
who, when Shurima approached and was like, we want in, and Skarner was like, no, and the Yuntal were like, but what if yes? Who do you think is the one who had to go to the massive-ass scorpion and be like, sorry, but we're overruling you?
Right? But
we're cool, right?
What was that? What was that like? He was kind of like a god to them. Like how did that happen? You know, I was thinking about all this, and it to me, the way I kind of saw Skarner is like maybe an overprotective parent who has had their kids kind of grow up and become teenagers and make these decisions that they disagree with, and it has soured the relationship, right? And then Melio is like the surrogate, like, grandchild through which Skarner can rediscover the joys of parenting, right? Does that make sense what I'm saying here? I don't know if it's like bullshit or whatever, but
That would be great.
Yeah.
it's like kind of how I see his arc, almost, like, in the long term.
And I think, to be fair, that's how the writer sees the arc, too. I don't know if they'll ever write it, but that was what they were saying was, like, the idea.
Interesting.
He has a line, or there's a line in the story that I liked, too, that when he was trying to get to know the humans, it said, he needed to know what made them tick. And I couldn't help but think that Oriana could really help with that. And he could even teach him how to make the ticking stop.
Why would he have that idiom? They don't have clocks.
Maybe it's like...
like ticks, like...
Or ticks like bugs.
I like yours better. The pincers. Yeah, man.
I was a little bummed. It's not a big deal. This is just a personal preference thing. I know when we were reading about the Axiomata and all that shit, one of our biggest takeaways was that, like, too in-depth on a confusing type of magic system that we weren't particularly interested in. Kind of bummed that they're doubling down on that, and we're learning even more about the origin of it and all that. Like, I'm kind of hoping that they can do something cooler with it, with Skarner, take more of a, I don't know, like a Avatar Earthbender approach to it than the whole trial seemed to take with it. But
I just want someone to lay it out for me a little bit more clearly. I can't
explain
even,
it to me like I'm a
necessarily
5-year-old.
at least a little bit. Ease me into this shit a little. I just, like, it's hard for me to even pass judgment on it because I don't really understand. I couldn't tell you, like, how it works. I couldn't break it down for you, so I certainly don't understand it, right? I have a vague sort of sense of how it works, and I certainly know what power, I guess I kind of know what power it affords them. I don't certainly know. I just sort of get it. They can control elements and shit. But if they're going to be trying to harp more on it, and if it seems so tied to Skarner, maybe something to help bridge the gap for the audience, maybe a little.
Yeah. And I feel like I like Skarner's version of it. Keep it nice and clean, There are ley lines. Skarner can read them because he interprets tremors in earth and can speak back to them. There was a lot of weaving in the Axiomata that I didn't particularly follow.
I don't care for weaving.
I don't care for it.
I like the weaving imagery. I think you could certainly get into that with... you can get into that with Skarner, and, like, maybe you could try and loop Talia in because she's like a stone weaver. Like, you could start kind of pluck that thread, as it were. But yeah, I can't tell you how the fuck the Ishtal magic works, and I kind of wish I could in some ways. I also wish I could tell you anything about the Bracker, and I know we mentioned it before, but it is kind of wild to me how, like, they just fall out of the story. There's no, like... I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess that maybe from Skarner's perspective, that's just how it is. He just kind of lost contact with them and couldn't care less. But, like, I don't know.
Are they not down there anymore? Like,
right? Do they never surface? Because they seem pretty big, especially if Skarner's supposed to be like a smaller one.
Yeah, God, the whole ground is just gonna collapse.
They're all of Runeterra is just on the back of one giant scorpion. It's like the indigenous American myth, right? Turtle. Like the turtle. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, like that would be kind of on brand, honestly, if that was like a myth or a creation myth in Ishtar, right? Is that they're all on the back of one big brackern. You know, maybe it's a little on the nose, but I kind of like it. Yeah. But yeah, I really wish that they had. It's weird. I just kind of wish that, like, as I said, you could have written anything. You know, like you're kind of reintroducing the brackern into the lore. You're reintroducing like they're being things that are just like they're essentially new. So you know, could we get a little more like of a little more cohesion, I guess, or like just kind of closure on some of these things a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I'm so curious if like the directive on the writing team is kind of like write this as if we will have follow-up stories.
I mean,
and
surely.
And deep down they know that it probably won't happen, but they've been given a directive.
Yeah, I guess you just gotta take that leap of trust. I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Just hope that the LOR team can add brackern to the game and flesh it out for you.
Sure. I don't know, man. It's yeah, I don't know. I kind of look at this and I kind of feel myself wanting a lot more. Like I said, it doesn't help that he doesn't really have any other supplemental lore material aside from his quotes that we can, you know, we'll look at. I don't know if they're planning on putting out something for him. I know he's technically not a new champion, but for all intents and purposes, he kind of is. You know, it's like can we get something? Can we get one of those in-game like champion trailer things? You know what I mean?
Yeah, get us one of those Fiddlestick remake trailers. Even like that shit was so fucking good.
I mean, sure, right? Like that would be the ideal. You give me a minute and a half, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
And Warwick got one. He really got the shaft here.
It's kind of true when you think about it. You know, it's like
that's got a sting.
We only got one of those this whole episode, and that's where you used it.
It's good. I think it was a good one. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious. I'm kind of curious how the Skarner rework landed with like Skarner fans, like not so much the gameplay side. You know, it is what, you know, that's whatever, but more like for people who were invested. Because I think there were some people who were kind of into the brackern lore. I wasn't like, don't get me wrong, I was not like terribly beholden to old Skarner or anything. I'm just curious, like, how do people feel about this, right?
Right. Interested. Just curious, all the people that were super pissed off about Seraphine, where you at? Because the conceit is that it was the Skarner part of it that was upsetting you and her treatment of his people. So what you feel about this?
Don't worry,
hit us up in the comments.
About Seraphine in fucking 5 years, man.
They dodge every game she's in.
I would love if they rewrote some Seraphine lore to still have her fuck with the brackern.
She's still singing into the face of one of Skarner's brothers or something.
God, did they rewrite Seraphine?
I don't know.
I'm sure they didn't. I'm sure they'll just touch it whenever they have to, or they might never, right? She might just always have some brackern crystal in her thing. I'm sure they haven't retouched her. Maybe she's got scorpions on her bag.
Oh shit.
She's the brood mother this whole time.
I have a few quotes written down here.
Sure.
Some references from his new one. I'm the vanguard of Ishtal's protection is a quote from Mass Effect, specifically the Sovereign, much like Skarner is.
Nice.
I sentence you to 1 million years in the dungeon is a Earl of Lemongrab reference from Adventure Time.
I'll take your word for it.
I'll take
Wiki's word for
it.
Okay, yeah.
His Battlecast Alpha skin has a quote. I am composed of 50% Protect, and 50% attack,
Oh my gosh.
which I'm sure will not date this rework. Fun fact about Battlecast Alpha, he also hums part of Mark Ronson's Uptown Funk during his dance.
Okay, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
That will date it, but in a more fun way, I guess.
I mean, it's already 10 years old, so I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. Now I have a few. We mentioned Skarner being a scorpion of contradictions. I have a few quotes here that I liked. So this is a Skarner quote. "War is a weapon of the weak. I rupture the earth and bring devastation." Also, Skarner, "This world is blinded by wrath and ruin."
And I blinded it.
Skarner, "I lead not through fear, but through wisdom and respect." Also, Skarner, "Not all Yuntal can be trusted. I will silence any who plot against me, against Ishtal."
That's
Also,
very wise of him.
that is very wise and,
Chill.
not having to use his
Chill.
big side. He also has another one. I am the first Yuntal and I will be the last. That was another thing I never quite could piece together whether he was for or against the Yuntal. I know that he felt betrayed by them, but he also still seems to also be very upset if anyone is plotting against them.
Listen, he can hit the Yuntal, but other people can't.
I mean, well, that's what I was saying. Right? Like, it would be really nice to get something to give us insight into what are those counsel, like, does he, like, advise them? Does he give them wrong advice, like, on purpose?
I feel like it's really awkward. It's like the family dinners in Gilmore Girls when they have to visit the grandparents. Skarner's just asking them really judgmental questions all the time,
Right.
being passive aggressive.
Maybe he would be. Honestly,
Right.
I would kind of like that if that was kind of his.
Seen Shurima lately?
Did you remember to patch up the holes in the walls?
These gutters might need some. Do you know you have to clean gutters? You know that, right?
Holy shit! Oh my god. That's yeah.
Oh yeah, this is where he's got that quote: "Mortals are so precious, like young brackerings."
Brackerings.
Brackerings.
Bracker rings. I like
To be
it.
fair, I feel like I like that one better.
Then bracklings.
Brackerlings.
Because it sounds like.
Bracklings. Yeah.
Is it 'cause
The
it
other one
like
sounds vaguely
cracklings?
problematic.
Brackling.
Brackerings,
I-
I feel like is a nice solid, like, in it, like it keeps the brackern part of the word,
Yeah. I'm open to it. The
so,
other one
so
to me
that
sounds
so
like.
that you don't forget that they're brackern.
No. Bracker. Yeah. Bracken.
Yeah,
Oh,
brackerings
no, I'm
instead of
feeling-
brackenings.
Brackering.
The brackering.
It sounds like battering. That's why I like it. He's doing the Batman thing. Bracker.
Now there is some good news on all this. We got some new AU lore for new Skarner
Ooh.
for at least some of the
really?
AUs.
Did he finally get a new skin too, or no?
No.
I thought for sure he was going to be released with a new skin.
Oh, technically his base skin is new now. Does that count?
Okay, no, you know what I mean.
All right, so first up we got High Noon Gothic. Gunslingers and lawmen ride beneath the merciless sun of the high frontier, chasing survival and salvation in equal measure. Heaven is rubble, hell is empty, and all the devils are here. This one is Sand-Scourged Skarner. Trust not the whispers on the prairie winds, humming and hymning of the way home. Lost souls hear the demon of the old deserts, the supposed savior of the wayward, long before they feel his hellish tremor. His voice rings out, crooning of safety, of protection. reject this demon's tune, or be embalmed with sin and sand to join his mummified masses.
Oh dear.
Right? Also, just like so much alliteration in that story.
Sandscourge Skarner scoops something. I don't know.
Sin and sand for his
Seashells.
mummified masses. Supposed
I feel like
savior.
He's just like a tremor worm in this.
A little bit,
Okay.
but cooler. Because
I
demon.
don't know. He's not an ass blaster.
It's true. But most of them die, so.
I mean, when Kevin Bacon steps up, what are you going to do?
Is he still around for the ass blasters?
No, he's only the first one.
No,
I can't
hell
remember
no.
the guy's name who's in all of them. Jamie Kennedy.
I was going to say Jamie Kennedy's in the ass blaster one.
He's in
The hero.
He's in the last few Tremor movies. Weirdly.
That'd be great if they got Kevin Bacon back for the final one.
Don't even. I would shit my pants.
Write it,
Tremors.
write it down, folks. It's another,
There's another.
another mark in the shit your pants bucket.
It's like
Mark's not in the
couple
bucket.
dozen. Please don't put me in that bucket.
Don't put him in the
Not
shit your
again.
pants bucket. Still can't get the stank out.
Next up, we got Legacy. Treasures from days long past, glimmering just within reach. And this is Earthrune Skarner, who with old Skarner had no lore. This is all brand new, baby.
Ooh.
Once the guardian of an ancient civilization, Skarner was forced to watch it collapse before his eyes. He clings to a desperate hope that one day he and his companion can rebuild what was ripped away. Until then, he vows to remain vigilant, deterring any trespassers who dare threaten the ruins and the magic that pulses through them.
Who's his companion?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Zareth, maybe?
Oh, yeah, that's true. He's got that matching skin. I haven't read
Yeah.
Zareth to see if his was like it matches, but it would make sense.
I guess
We'll
we'll see.
Yeah.
I kind of like this because it seems almost like an alternate universe where Ishtal did collapse along with Shurima or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Now you've got Skarner and Zareth working together. A bastion from each. Let's see. Next up, we got Battlecast. The glorious revolution is here. Assembling an army of machines with living brains, Victor marches against the combined forces of his enemies, with only a scrappy human-led resistance keeping him from total world domination. And this one is the same. They didn't update this one. But, here it is anyway. Battlecast Alpha Skarner. An early prototype that would pave the way for the Battlecast machines, Alpha Skarner is possessed of an extreme rage not seen in later models. Perhaps the brain inside it wishes to inflict as much pain as it experiences, or maybe it just likes to kill things. Then we have Event Horizon, Cosmic. Vast stardust creatures control the ebb and flow of creation, painting the cosmos with sublime light as their celestial court drifts along the fabric of time and space. Cosmic Sting Skarner, which is inspired by Scorpius. This is also the same. But here it is.
Okay.
An ancient creature of the deep primal
Skarner
wisdoms
wasn't
from
that long
before
ago,
the
John.
forming of the first galaxies. Skarner is composed of the very elements that are building blocks of all the cosmos. His kind are the radiant antithesis of the ancient squirming things that lurk in the deep darkness of space and beyond.
Icky.
I like that. The radiant antithesis of the... Yeah, I like that. Those are Harvard words right there.
Yeah.
I gotta use that more. I love that. Those are perfect words. Someone did really well in their SATs.
Finally, we've got Guardian of the Sands. Set in an alternate Shurima, all the champions are Tomb Raiders, Ancient Tomb Guardians, or Evil Spirits of the Desert.
So this in AU is if he was in Shurima.
I know, now it actually is different. Back before it was just like Shurima, but maybe a different Shurima. But now he's hanging out in the desert. This is Guardians of the Sand Skarner, which is almost the same, but we'll see if you can spot where the difference is.
Yeah, John.
Skarner, well, okay, we'll see if you can guess what part has been added.
Okay.
All right. Skarner, the Forsaken Sovereign, Ancient guardian of the sands, we invoke thee to protect us from an evil of our own making. Let no man tread upon these hallowed grounds, lest in your wrath they are torn asunder.
They've removed the part where he goes to the League of Legends.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
the whole sovereign thing. He didn't used to be called sovereign.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't
for
think
his
so. I
new
think that's
skin.
I thought that was, I didn't remember his old title though either.
They didn't use his old title either. To be fair, they used it. They used to be Skarner, the Gilded Scorpion.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Yeah,
fancy.
right.
Huh.
I didn't
Weird.
realize he was. I mean, I guess he was. I would have to look at the skin again. Maybe he's gilded.
I don't know.
He doesn't seem shiny enough.
I guess
to me,
he
but
kind of
whatever.
is. Yeah, I can think of it now. He does have a good amount of gold on him. He's pretty filigreed. Yeah.
And I've got some fun facts for this new Skarner.
Sure.
So, new Skarner and Battlecast Alpha Skarner are voiced by Amari Williams. The full name of a Brackern consists of their first name, which clan they are a part of, and then whom they are the progeny of. So it's kind of like how Jax's name is super long. When Skarner introduces himself, that's all technically part of his name. So he is Skarner of Clan Opaline, progeny of Broodmother Nishale. That's his
Does he
name.
have to say all that, or can he just be like Skarner, clan name, whatever it is, Nishale?
No, he's got
Does he
to
have
say all of it.
like, okay.
He either has to
Damn,
say
that is
all
a
of it,
fucking
or he can
mouthful.
say Skarner.
They would know.
I can see
Both,
why he
both
says
are
that.
acceptable. Skarner is currently somewhere around 10,000 years old.
Of course, yeah.
Great.
Skarner sees Melio's fire as an extension of his traitorous great-aunt. He and Melio have yet to meet in canon, but they will once Melio joins the Yuntal. So perhaps that dynamic will shift as he sees Melio's fire for what it really is.
Emilio's going to join the Yuntal?
I think that
I
was
don't know. That's a... Go ahead. Sorry.
I think that was the plan when he was...
Well, that's what he wants to do.
That's what he wants to do. I believe in him.
I
He's
guess
got that unique fire.
He does, but like, I don't know. Melio is such like a... If that's what they're planning to do with him, that's a pretty wild thing to happen to the character. Because that's like, I don't know, he's a pretty innocent, like, little happy-go-lucky
Right.
kid. For him to get, like, the wool pulled out from over his eyes, like, that's going to be a pretty big shift to the character, I would imagine. Or maybe not. Maybe he'll be resilient through it, but...
He'll have his
That's what they're planning to
flamingos to comfort him.
Sure, yeah.
true.
I don't know. Okay, we'll see what
Flamigos.
happens. Don't worry about it. It'll never happen. They'll take
Yeah,
20
right.
years to get it. Yeah.
For in-game stuff, during his cast time, Impale's decal displays the Ishtali Axiomata, which is like the Ishtali, signet, basically.
Nice.
His dance is a reference to the crab rave. And in modes like One for All,
What is that?
the dance, the crab rave.
I don't know what that is.
Dun, 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 dun.
Boom.
Mark was doing it. You just go like
We're
this?
both going to get into it. You got
What's
like
it
that.
from?
You got a nice song.
When
was this a thing? Is it like a video? Is it a meme? Did one of your
Yeah.
friends make this up?
No.
I was doing the mom
showing
thing.
YouTube
Yeah,
videos to moms.
Yeah.
Is this one of your
Is
friends?
this one of your friends? They're very good. Have I met them?
How did they get those crabs to do that?
Were they real crabs? Dancing? I'm so confused.
But yeah, we can look
Yeah,
at the
I'm
YouTube
good.
video
All
later.
right, go
Yeah.
ahead. Keep going.
It's
Also,
just,
I'm
it's
pretty
just
sure the Crab Rave is one of the songs you can play on Beat Saber.
Beat
too.
Saber. Yeah.
I
So you've-
haven't
you've-
really played Beat Saber.
Well, you've definitely heard it because it's also the song that plays at the end of all of like the best of bronze videos.
Oh, that music.
There we go. Got it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Got there in the end.
I've never seen this. Sorry, go ahead.
Let's see. So vibrational threads are similar to how Toph sees through earthbending. So Skarner feels movement on top of the earth, which are like these threads that track back to him, and he can't literally see with them, but he's able to interpret them.
Interesting. Okay.
So Skarner's clan is from the jungles near Ishtal, but there are Brackern all over the continent.
Damn.
Okay.
Which I think was specifically, she mentioned something that they wanted to clarify in case any other IP teams wanted to include Brackern in there.
They're like, y'all can do it. Yeah, there's Bilgewater Brackern. You're fine.
Well, they did say specifically just in the southern continent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brackern Tongue is actually a vibrational song, which was something they put in to kind of preserve the Brackern songs from the original lore. They speak in vibrational tones that, when heard, burrow into the mind and are translated to the listener's own tongue.
Oh shit! Well, that's handy.
Yeah, they're kind of like a less invasive version of like the ear
Babblefish or whatever.
Yeah, Babblefish from Hitchhikers. And finally, it's only hinted at in the VO, but all of Skarner's adornments on his body were actually gifts from the Ishtali, and the colorful patterns were painted on, and Skarner cherishes them deeply.
Aww.
I like that idea.
Cute.
I want to see him with like little kid drawings on him. Like like a little Melios, like little drawings all over him, like
There's
little
definitely
chalk art or whatever.
one penis somewhere on it, right? That where Skarner can't see it. Like they have no idea.
He's a really big crab. He probably can't see like 95% of his body.
See.
I feel like I'm looking at like his splash. I feel like I don't see a lot of like I see the color pattern for sure, but I feel like when I think adornment, I think like little chimes
Jewels
and like a little charm bracelet or some shit. Yeah. It's like, this one's because I love rocks. This one's because I love vibrations.
This is my theater background. Not seeing a lot of.
I don't know. I kind of wish that was more of an element in his design, because I think that's
that would be
kind
really
of a cool
nice.
idea, actually.
Yeah. But that's
Skarner rework.
That's a Skarner rework.
Any
to be
final
fair,
thoughts?
more than we were expecting.
That's true.
But you know.
I mean, like I said, it's really hard when there's not any sort of supplemental content around it. And that's, I think, maybe something that I find myself the most frustrated with when it comes to the Skarner rework, is that, like, you know, the bio, you could easily flesh a lot of this stuff out. I think there's good opportunities for some stories, or something. But I'd like to have something, I suppose, to kind of help get me like into Skarner's head, because they've given him a lot of personality and a lot of emotions. For a big fuck off monster, he's, you know, they're using words like paranoid, and we were talking about like anxiety, and he's got all these. He's a huge emotional state. So like, I don't know what's going on with Skarner. How's he doing down in
How's
the
he holding us down there, man? Has anyone called on Skarner lately?
Can I bring him some tea? I feel like he needs some tea or weed. One of them.
We both.
That's true.
Yeah, and like, I'd like to hear what's up with the Brackern as a whole.
Just in general.
You know, we know that there are huge broods. We know that there's more than one brood mother. We know that Skarner is pretty damn big. We know that Skarner fucking hates all the void creatures. Like, where are all these giant scorpions that are scattered all over the desert while the void creatures are running amok? We haven't really seen much of them.
Yeah. It leaves a lot of questions, I guess I would say. Which, sometimes questions can be good, but sometimes answers can be good too, you know what I mean?
Riot, we'd like an answer here and there.
Right?
It's fine. You know.
They hired all the writers from Lost to write their lore.
They'll keep them coming back. Just the more questions they have, the more episodes they'll watch.
Yeah.
So we don't have to write a good show. Sorry, that was mean. John really likes Lost.
Rebecca's never
I've never
seen
seen it,
Literally
actually.
never seen it.
Yeah.
I won't defend its final season, but I do like it as a
whole.
As a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes the ride can be fun, even if the destination is.
Very few shows have a nice ending. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, most of them don't stick the landing.
No, they don't. It's okay.
It's hard. It is hard to end things.
Most of them don't stick the King's Landing.
Oh, shit. Anyway, that was Skarner. Thank you for listening. We have a Twitch. twitch.tv/loreheads. John streams there on Saturdays, and I do Tuesdays. I might switch to Fridays. I don't know. I'm so sorry. But in the evening, EST, John does TFT and ARAMs with viewers, and I've been playing some Rift games with some friendos. It's been fun.
And I've been trying to find additional times to stream during the week. Just kind of games that I enjoy, which right now includes a lot of like roguelike card building games. So if you've got more, then let me know. I know I've been doing Balatro and Slice and Dice. Would be open to learning more if you got some.
We also have a YouTube if you want to see our beautiful faces. We have videos here and some clips that are real fun, some shorts, that's a good time. And John has some fun parody songs there. And we have a Discord. You want to find some people to chat with, play League with, post memes with, talk about how old we are. I don't know what the crab dance is. Go on over to the Discord.
Dance.
And we have a Patreon. Was it not called the crab dance?
Rave.
Crab rave. Oh, I mean,
Crab sock hop.
A rave is a thing.
We've got crab dance at home.
Yeah. Now go get your Nintendo, your Game Boy. All of them are Game Boys. Play your Mario game that you can't pause. Anyway, we also have a Patreon. Thank you so much to all of our patrons.
But a very special thank you to our Medarda tier patrons, King of Hearts and Mr. Dead. If you were in Ishtal and you had decided to let open your gates to outsiders, then Skarner came out ready to destroy everything, I'd smack him on the nose with a newspaper so he'd know that not gonna hurt my Ishtalis. So
Okay.
Oh, cool.
It's not the best training method, but it's
I know, it's really positive enforcement is really better, John.
No,
I
you stick
have
by
more
what you said.
experience training giant crabs than you do, so
That's fair.
and also scorpions.
Are you the one who taught him how to dance
Yeah,
at the crab dance?
it's my one move.
Well, with that, everybody, we're officially into the X's, by the way, now. XYZ, we only have 3 letters left. And I need to ask you two, are we doing Zaya? Because we did Rakan and Zaya together, if you recall. We definitely talked about both of them.
I had that same question in my brain. I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this,
I don't know if
this is gonna be
anything
30
new
minutes of
has
just me saying
been.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think anything new is out.
Want to
I
hold
don't
off
think so
until
either.
something significant gets
Sure.
released, and then we'll just do a revisit.
Here, I'll leave this in there. Y'all let us know in the comments. Should we do a Zaya episode, or would that be redundant? I certainly don't remember Rakan and Zaya like a whole lot. Well, actually, I do. Never mind.
Lies.
But either way, we are either going to talk about the Rebel Zaya. Probably not, though. We will more than likely be talking about the Magus Ascended. That was such a weird title. It's Zareth.
It's Zareth,
It's Zareth, everybody. Oh, we'll get to learn about his skin.
right?
That'll be great.
We'll finally know if he and Skarner are partners.
Needed
In
to
life
keep
and
it.
love.
At long last.